Next we have Merlinda Ximenes from Indonesia Planned Parenthood Federation. Merlinda is a youth facilitator and a logistician during the SRHR disaster response in SRHR, Indonesia in 2021. Currently, she is actively engaged with young people in East Nusa Tenggara through the PKBI NTT Youth Forum. With a focus on youth capacity building and community organizing, she is committed to contributing to raising awareness and increasing youth participation in SRHR. Thank you, Angelica. So I think these lessons learned that you shared with us would be impactful in our humanitarian programming, especially to engage youth as well. So we will now move on to Merlinda. How do you describe the contribution of youth networking in emergency response?
Okay, sure. My friends and I from the IPPA chapters is Nusa Tenggara Youth Forum were directly involved in organizing youth boys and girls in the disasters affected villages. We managed form a youth group of about 15 youth members. We made thematic discussion classes according to the niche of each member in the group. We discussed various topics related to the sexual reproductive health rights and mental health. We utilized the afternoon as a good time for us to conduct our session. After several discussion sessions were conducted, the youth from the aforementioned form youth group actively become youth facilitators who guide the discussion process together with other youth in the group as well as with youth in the disasters affected villages not yet joined in the group.
Thank you very much. So, how would you build trust within the communities during the humanitarian crisis?
To be honest, the disaster location we visited certainly have differences in cultures, language, regions, and habits. For information, East Nusa Tenggara is an archipelago province with 21 districts and 1 city. Our province has 72 different local languages in each our district. It takes about 12 hours to travel from the provincial capital to the disaster site. But our one passion is to help our fellow human beings who are in need of our help. Therefore, we approach religious leaders, community leaders, and local governments in the disasters location, building a youth-adult partnership. This was done to get space to socialize ourselves and our aims and objective as young people at the disaster site. Luckily, we got the green light from adults who were religious leaders, community leaders, and local government there. We were introduced to young people there who were willing to accept us and willingly engage in various activities that we designed together. We tried to be their friend without discriminating against them. This was the cause of the young people trust in the disaster location to want to be involved in the organizing that we did and to actively voice their opinions in planning thematic discussion session to evaluating a session that we conducted in the group. They also actively plan thematic discussion activities with other youth in the disaster locations who were not involved in the youth group we formed.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi. So I would like to go back to Merlinda for one more question. What are the innovative approaches that you have seen useful in engaging the communities that you serve?
There are interesting things that I want to tell you here because talking about reproductive health, especially discussion related to the anatomy of male and female reproductive organ is still very taboo. We start the discussion process in a fairly careful and simple way by identifying what the physical changes are experienced by a person when he becomes a teenager. After mentioning them, we try to draw them together, and we managed to draw it together. We were able to draw the male and female reproductive organs because we have drawn many times, so it was not a problem for us in the drawing process. They become very happy that they could learn this session, and at the end, they become very proficient to even draw the reproductive organs, mention the part, and explain the functions of each reproductive organs that they drew. Another media that we use and help us during the discussion process is the standing banner. While we pay a lot of attention to the methods that we use when discussing in each session with adolescents in the disaster sites. As much as possible, we did not make the discussion process one way, but we designed a participatory method for each group member so that they also could be active in the discussion process and not become bored with the session we discuss. The participatory method that we use and have mentioned earlier is that we use the game methods. We play while learning. This has proven to make them happy in the discussion process that we make. So they still get the knowledge, but in a fun way. Especially for discussion classes with children under 10 years old, we use puppets, conveying information about preventing child sexual abuse through the storytelling method. One more thing related to the media, we try not to use a lot of brochure or paper made of paper because we don't want the media we use to become additional weights at the disaster site.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi. So let me share another question across the panel. What is your vision for the future leadership of youth in SRH in humanitarian settings? How would you envision how the youth would interact in the humanitarian settings in the future? Merlinda, let's hear from you.
In my opinion, the youth should not be counted as a part of problem, but because of their large numbers, but recognize abilities and qualities and give them space for meaningful participations. This is done from the planning process, implementation to the evaluating process. Adolescents who are well capacitated will be able to produce innovation and creativity that may not have been thought before.